Okay, folks, day 149, another late morning. Seems to be becoming more and more the norm here right now. Not a good sign. But I got some bad news. Nothing to do with family or anything, but apparently on Sunday night I did something really dumb. It had to do with a simple keystroke on my laptop, and when I saved the files that had all my data and graphs in them, I saved them in the wrong format. I should have converted it from a CSV file to an XLSX file. But when I did save them, I lost all my graphs, and I lost the additional sheets I had made with more the data that I'd done sort of like formatting or numbers crunching on. So basically all my work was gone, and that basically meant I would have had to sit there and do in 3 to 4 hours what it took me 2 days to do. So I missed that assignment, and that's close to 4% of the grade of the total or final grade on just that one assignment, which makes it's not the end of the world, but that plus a couple points that I lost on that first quiz, a couple percentage points. The problem is it's sort of like death by 1,000 paper cuts. And anytime I make one of these, mistakes, or I, lose X number of points on one of these assignments or so, like, it adds up to the point that when the exam comes along, which is, the midterm is worth 20% of the grade, or I have any other assignments, it's kind of like I have that much less of a margin of error. And, look, either way, if I'm really trying for grad school, either way I would have to be getting, A's on my exams, that sort of deal. So it's not like it changes that. It just makes it harder. And I have that quiz tomorrow. I don't know how I feel about it. And, I honestly felt like I felt like relapsing last night. There was some sort of panic moments, and I'm like, oh no, please no, that sort of thing. And I didn't, but yeah, it's an indication of things, and I think my plan for today is I gotta look at it in the bigger picture sense, and part of that's gonna mean starting to change how I'm spending my time after work, because I say I have about maybe 3 to 4 hours of any decent time to get work done, and switch one more lane. I think all these other cars behind me. Let's see. Yeah, I'm doing this all while I'm driving. So, how am I going to get over it? Okay, I'm going for it. Okay, good. So I was having to, find a spot to switch over when you got cars coming up, and wondering, not knowing if they're gonna let you in. But like I said, I got maybe 3 to 4 hours tops of actual time I can do studying or work. We're no longer on the clock, so to speak, and I'll be honest with you, the way I started spending time when I was, the semester was starting off, It was not the best way. I should have taken certain indications that this class was going to be really tough. It was going to require a lot more effort than the last class. And I was spending like an hour and a half decompressing, which oftentimes meant watching some like podcast where they would talk about things like politics and social issues and all that, which, I mean, yeah, okay, great, it was interesting and I got to decompress, but you're wasting an hour and a half, and then you finally get around to trying to do other stuff, and like I was getting distracted by also trying to like teach myself how to program those robots at the same time, and it's sort of like spreading myself out too thin to the point that when I finally would get around to the class stuff, it was like, okay, it's really the end of the night, end of the day, and I'll be too exhausted or what have you. And then eventually I started pivoting towards more class related stuff, but again, it would always be like, okay, I'm gonna get some of the homework done, and the truth is, like, the homework and whatever assignments, like, those are like the bare minimum, and it's all these other in-class activities where he throws a bunch of problems at us. It's like, okay, like, that's, you really need to be doing that sort of stuff. And like homework, while it's graded and all, it's like I said, it's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum of what you need to be doing in order to do well in the class. And I have been at the best doing the bare minimum up to the point where doing the bare minimum wasn't even enough, and now I'm here. So how am I going to change? And by the way, I've had stuff like this happen in the past where I have like done some massive turnaround, but it's not fun. Let's just put it that way. It's not fun. It's a heck of a lot funner if you've started things off the right way early in the semester. This guy's not going. Anyways, somehow I want to find out how to change lanes yet again. I guess I could just stay in this lane. I actually like to get to the second to the left lane because it's typically the fast lane, but I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference today. Anyways, yeah, like I said, like I've had times where I've turned things around, but I think the one time that I really I remember I had I don't know if I was posting on Reddit or I was posting on Stack Exchange, but it was one of those forums where you could go and you could try and get some help. And I remember I had bombed an exam for my linear algebra class. And I really did buckle down after after the first midterm, and I studied my butt off, and I got a B on the second midterm. Unfortunately, in the end, it wasn't enough, but I have done that. Luckily, with what I know of like the grading, etc. for this class right now, I'm not at a point where I'm completely screwed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely feeling the panic effect, setting in. You can see, like, right now, the way things are, it's like, it's not good enough just to get a C or a C minus, or even a C plus or a B minus. I have to get a B or higher, bare minimum, just for the department's requirements. But in order for the grad school in general, looking at long term, I had to probably even get a higher grade, assuming I can't like compensate with better grades in other classes, that sort of thing. Bare minimum is a B. Because you know what I'm trying to do, like, you know, back when I was in undergrad, okay, getting a C or a C minus or a C plus was good enough, because you know, to the point where I was just trying to graduate and get that bachelor's. But you know, I've got to get my focus back. I suppose like last semester I had that sort of oomph when I started off, where it was sort of like, you know, I had my time out of school and I'd kind of seen how things were, and I had that sort of like that biting, nagging sense that I didn't want to get stuck being a technician all my life. And because of that sort of thing, I focused so heavily with that class that I got an A minus. But then, like, maybe I started resting on my laurels, started getting distracted, and you know, like, this is why I had to stay away from the kinds of stuff where it's like me thinking all like high and mighty, you know, flighty sorts of ways of thinking about things, whether it's life or it's dreams or something of that nature. And, you know, obviously definitely not getting dragged back into past events and, you know, getting on about that, but definitely not about like the whole NASA astronaut thing. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Like, that's something that if it's even still a possibility, it will only be a possibility if I just do and I take care of what's right in front of me. And I shouldn't really be doing this or taking care of what's right in front of me because, oh, you know, NASA astronaut or whatever. It has to be because of practical, pragmatic, you know, concerns. Like, so much of what motivated me to really focus and do well in that class from last semester was because, as much as, you know, there were pros to my job that I was doing, I was like, I didn't go and get an engineering degree so I could be a technician. And so much of what I was seeing was, if you want to get into these engineering positions, it requires additional stuff, you know, additional, like a master's degree, and, you know, advanced degree as they call them, and or, you know, specific certifications and these specific skill sets and blah blah blah, you know. And I was looking at like, okay, you know, I don't want to be doing this technician work for the rest of my life, because I mean, like, it was wearing down on me physically and also psychologically. You know, 12-hour shifts, night shift. Yeah, the pay, you know, as long as I was pulling 60 hours a week and able to, you know, deal with tension headaches, yeah, the pay was good. I was, you know, knocking down old debts that I had, and I was getting my finances straightened out. But, you know, there were enough days where I was, like, demoralized, or dare I say depressed, tired, irritable, dealing with, you know, even, like, physical pain, you know, from being on my feet all the time, etc. And I think I've forgotten that. I think I've forgotten why it started, you know, why I was so motivated last semester to, like, really, like, you know, hit the books, so to speak. But taking note of where I'm at right now, all hope is not lost. It's going to really require a concerted effort to turn things around. And, well, we'll see how that quiz goes tomorrow. I'm really hoping I don't, like, you know, totally screw it up. I mean, I'm surprised that I got, you know, majority of the points that I got last time. There were some annoyances the way the quiz was formatted and run. Apparently, I wasn't the only one who had issues with that, because some of his instructions weren't clear. Like, he gave us a three-part question, and it wasn't clear that all the parts of the question were like interrelated for whatever reason. Like, you know, that question. Well, actually, it was I don't know if it was formatted as A, B, and C, but it was like I think it was like 1, 2, and 3, and it looked like they were all separate, you know, questions. And then like, you know, he'd be asking like to find a certain, you know, value, and in order to know that, in order to calculate that value, you would need to know information that apparently was present in the first problem. But it wasn't until like the last 5 minutes where he mentioned, oh, by the way, all these are interrelated. Yeah, you can or have to use the information from part, you know, this for that other part or whatever. So that's kind of like what messed things up. For you know, in part. And then of course there was the shoddy internet I had at my workplace, which was going in and out. And obviously, like if you have crummy internet, you can't submit an assignment. That was adding, you know, an extra layer of concern, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah. So I think the best thing that I can do right now, probably get all my notes together, all the slides, and make sure everything's in place. I did work on some of the related in-class problems, you know, last night, and I did figure a couple of things out that I was kind of confused on, but I'll have to take a look at them again today. But I really need to make sure I get enough sleep, at the very least. That, and like I said, starting the process of doing additional problems outside of class, because we have the midterm, which is 20% of the grade, in about a month. If I start now, start changing my ways right now, I can save my grade. I got the midterm. After this quiz, there's 2 more quizzes. There's 3 more labs. So the labs, the remaining labs are about 11.25% of the grade. Midterm is 20%. The remaining quizzes are 10%. So that's what was it? 21.5 plus 20 is 41. And a 4% of the grade. Then there's the remaining homework and pre-lecture quizzes, in-class assignments. Right now, I'm doing well in those, and those are 25% of the grade. So 25 plus 41.25 is, what is that, 66.25% of the grade. And then there's the final, which is 20%. So that's about 86% of the grade remaining. So I can save my grade. I can save my grade. At least get a B in the class, but I will need to start this whole process now. I wish I started earlier. I wouldn't feel this sort of, you know, crushing, you know, sort of rush to catch up. But if I were to try and like forgive myself a bit, I'd have to admit that I didn't really know the format of the class beforehand, you know, before I started. And just how, you know, he'd be throwing these problems at us, and a lot of stuff he lists as optional, but it's kind of like optional in terms of it's not going to be graded, but not optional in terms of you need to do this to be ready, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, kind of ironic that I'm talking about this sort of stuff when my last video was like, oh, how I'm grateful to be alive, but I was trying to be upbeat about things, even in the face of like all the stuff that could go wrong. But yeah, if I'm gonna be going, I me further down this path of getting the grades I need to get and getting into grad school and getting that master's degree, like, that's got to be my focus. If I throw into the mix stuff like other skill set development or things having to do with, let's say, like learning how to program specific manufacturing, systems or so, robots or whatever, like, that's got to be something that I sort of like, I'm doing that when I'm not taking a class, and I have my list of things that I would need to learn. Yeah, great, but like right now, the class is what comes first, and I can't be, pardon my language, but dicking around with other things. So, luckily, from where I'm looking at it, I still have the opportunity to change the ultimate outcome. But I gotta do it, and I gotta do it now. It's almost like trying to make your exit to get off the freeway at the spot you need to get off at. Like, you might be really close to the exit, but if you notice, hey, wait, my exit is coming up, and you're able to maneuver yourself over however many lanes, and make the exit, then you made the exit, you got to where you need to get to. But yeah, it's not a good spot to be in, but I can get myself out of here. So it's something better, as far as my grade is concerned. So just had to do that. And I think one other thing I also need to do is, like, when it comes to scheduling my time, I also need to be less rigid, because one of the problems I have is that when I write down, less rigid but also reasonable. You see, I end up writing down stuff, and I write it down in pen in my planner, and then if, for whatever reason I'm not able to get that done, or other priorities come up, it causes me a bit of like a pause, if you will, and need to not do that. So, like I said, today starts the process, and I think I'm just going to report back into you folks on that. However many people actually watch the videos, regardless, I need to be putting that up there and be holding myself accountable. And the health stuff and the debt stuff, I will continue vlogging about my journey out of debt. The health stuff I may just talk about on here as a regular vlog for now, until or unless I actually get this business straightened out with my class, and I can start actually documenting my my work towards getting out of debt. Until or unless that happens, I'll just have to focus on stuff I'm dealing with right now. So, running a couple minutes late, but not too late, not compared to last night, which is kind of ironic. The sleep that I did get was pretty decent sleep. I don't know how I got to sleep at around 11. I think I just kind of told myself to sort of accept my fate and close my eyes and go to bed. But I didn't have any coffee this morning, and I just I just got dressed and grabbed my stuff and headed out. So I don't know what else there is to say. I gotta do the work, and it's gotta start today. And I may be behind for a week, just catching up, But, you know, that's just how it'll be. And then, of course, on the weekends, I mean, I'll have to be using my time better. Far too often my weekends have become just, catch up on sleep, that sort of thing. And got no time to really be resting on my laurels. I need to get my rest, definitely 7 to 8 hours every night. But at the same time, like, that 7 to 8 hours is dependent upon me using those 3 to 4 hours after work, effectively. So, to that end, we'll see what happens tonight. If I can knock down enough goals, I'll be able to report back in and be able to say, hey, I started the process and I'm getting somewhere. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 more turns and I'll be at work. So, anywho, I'll see you folks around. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.